Namaste. My journey is from a agricultural family. My father had land properties, agriculture. It is a joint family. But I had to say to you, though we had plenty of land, liquidity is not much, was not much. Even today the same case, any farmer or any agriculturalist, they may have a lot of land property, but the yield coming out of it is not adequate. Basically the fault is with agriculturalists also. They have not upgraded their technology. They remained age-old techniques of doing agriculture. Had they applied their mind, or at least governments would have been hand-holding them, giving them latest technologies, their lifestyle would have been much better. In spite of having huge land property, lot of agriculture, we used to have around 300 acres of land and cattle, around 150 cows, buffaloes, everything. Padi, panta, what we call in Telugu. Everything is abundant, but every beginning of agriculture season, they have to go and borrow money, and they used to finish it when the harvest comes. This is routine cycle. Nobody got more than 5th class or 6th class, my father or my father's brothers or their sisters. It is a huge giant family. My mother came into that family from relatively better educated family. In the sense, they are also not degree holders. In those days, for a girl, the education means Mahabharatam, Bhagavatam, Ramayanam, Sanskritam, Sangeetam. Not beyond that, not even dance. Dance is forbidden in our families. They used to have a feel that dance is only for people, for Devadasis in temples to do, for public. So my mother got her fundamentals from our old Prachina Vangmaya scriptures, and she didn't go to school beyond 8th class. Teacher used to come and he taught her Ramayanam, Bharatam, Bhagavatam. She is thorough in those things. She can quote at least 2000 poems or anything. To that extent, my father is illiterate compared to my mother. My mother basically believed in God, and she is very ritual. My father is not so much, but he had a blind faith in God. But he doesn't know any mantra or anything. He used to believe that there is somebody watching us and we have to be righteous. That's all he knows. My mother, not only that, but extra is, unless you pray him with proper spiritual mantra, it cannot reach him. That is her belief. In my earnest opinion, without his knowledge, my father is more evolved than my mother. He is more evolved. If there is any difficulty time comes, my father used to say, no worry, he will take care. But my mother used to sit before God and starts praying, worried about it. Why are you so much worried? We are righteous people. He saves people with good mind, good thinking. Why are you so much worried? He used to ask. But she used to pray and she used to get worried and she used to be in tension. That tension was not there for him. And he always believed in giving. Always. To that extent, my mother is relatively low. She knows what to do to the God, not beyond that. But my father knows only to give to people, but not beyond that to God. In his opinion, there is no need to ask anything God. He knows what he wants. That is the ultimate philosophy. It is not by knowing. Unknowingly, he came to that subscription. So in such a family I was born, but it is a giant family. Not many people are educated. In villages with that kind of properties and whatnot, in Telugu we call Motubari Raitu. All kinds of vyasanas will come. Children will not be properly controlled, no discipline. They don't go to school. They call teacher to the house. They reprimand teacher, why my son is not studying, why he is not getting good marks, like that. My mother observed all these things. It is not the place for him to get evolved. So she decided to send me off at the age of 5. It is a great sacrifice. I am the only child. At that age, she took a decision, rather very radical decision in my opinion. Every mother wants her child to be with her. She has sent me off to my maternal uncle. He is atheist. He doesn't believe in God. He is a communist. Totally different. From the same mother, from same womb, my mama is one way, my mother is other way. And he was a strong, sincere, disciplined party person, communist party. He was disciple to Puchalapalli Sundaraya. In those days, they did a lot of sacrifices. My maternal uncle also, he didn't marry for the party's sake. And he had given away his properties to party. And he was working full time to the party. He was General Secretary to Nellore district. And he was totally on that. My mother's mother, that is my mama's mother, old lady, ma mama, grandma. So under her care, I have grown there. That was in Nellore town. My parents were in village, 8 kilometers away. When I was dragged to city, it is not as abundant facilities or anything, because he donated everything. He was living very simple life, rather middle class life. I cannot say below middle class, but middle class. No servants. I have to do all the work, housecore work. I have to go to shop, market and get the vegetables, groceries. And I had to, in those days, sometimes Nala comes, sometimes doesn't come. We used to have well. I had to fetch the water from the well. I had to wash my own clothes. And monthly only one ration for going to movie. That too after explaining to him why I intend to go to that movie. Director is great, story is good, who is music director, who is the writer for the movie. Then after coming back I had to explain him what is the movie, and I cannot go beyond 50 paisa ticket, bench ticket. Floor 25 paisa, bench 50 paisa. Reserved class 1 rupee 25 paisa. My cousins, my other family members, they used to come from my village in a gurrab buggy. We used to have a horse ridden cart. After some time they had a car also. They used to come from village and I used to align with them to go to movie, because all of us are cousins, no? They were sitting 125, I am sitting in 50 paisa. My uncle didn't allow me. You should understand how middle class people are. And he was leader there. He was representing the rice mill workers. So many different kinds of workers he used to represent them. And he used to call them to home, used to feed them, he used to write memos to municipal corporation for getting a nala, for getting some, nowadays Aadhaar card, in those days different kind of things. I have my name to be registered in the municipality so that I can get water, I can get some facilities, etc. So he used to do all that. In that process, I understood how he was dealing with the people, giving respect to them, making them sit along with him. Not normally in my village, if my father is sitting in the chair, other people have to stand like this without even chappals. That is feudalism. Yes. But he is on humanism, communism with humanism. So I understood this kind of life. And he used to wake me up at morning 4:30. He used to send me to, in those days you might be knowing, Kantarao, a Fahilwan who turned out to be a film producer and also actor. In Nathansala he, and also he had theatres, exhibition theatres. So he had a gymkhana. I had to go there and learn all those things. I had to go to River Penna, have a bath and then come back. Very disciplined life. I cannot have more than 4 pairs of clothes. In fact, I had tough time in convincing him. I was beaten also by him. I never wanted my legs to be exposed, so I always wanted to have a pant.
Okay.
For 4th class, 3rd class also you want a pant? Go with knicker. No, my legs should not be visible. Then he tried to convince me, but I was not listening. I was not going to school. Go this way and come back and stay back in the home. After he comes to know that, he used to beat me. Finally, he understood that I have a mental block on this. Without pant, he will not go to school. Then he agreed for pant. I was walking to the school, though it is around, in those days, miles, 1.5 miles, 2 miles. So he made me to go through the rigmaroles of communication, treating people on par with others. I had to eat along with them, and he was trained by Puchalapasutraya brother. He is a doctor, Dr. Ramchandra Reddy in Nellore. Praja Vaidyashala, 1 rupee treatment, consultation fee 1 rupee. Even if you have to take a X-ray, 1 rupee. Anything is 1 rupee. A great service. Its name is People's Polyclinic. He was trained there, though it is illegal in present day context. He was trained to give injections. He was trained to suggest some medicines for the poor people. Today we cannot say that. In those days we used to call Malavada, Madigavada. Now we call it with a better name, Harijanavada. We used to go there along with him. He used to carry him some medicines, vitamins, and also neurobion injections for immediate strength. They are all malnutrition people. They don't have proper food. So he used to give injections to them. It is not allowed now, but in those days we used to. I learned how to do injections at the age of 8, 9, 10 years. So we were doing this kind of service. And anybody comes, sir, my taxes are very heavy. I had to write a letter to municipal commissioner, kindly make an RG. RG means an appeal. I used to write for them. He made me to write, understand how to write, and of course he has given me some template. Those things nobody now following. Now it is all emails. No, in those days, in the right side top corner, put from where you are writing Nellore. Below that, date. Left side corner, Arya, so and so, sama Divya Samukumanaku. All these things. Chittaginsavalnu, Abhivandanalatho, so and so. So I used to do all that kind of service. I cannot say that I was number 1 in the class because I had so many extracurricular activities. And he was not worried about that. That's the good thing I learned from him. Being first in the class is not important, but you should understand it and absorb that knowledge. Even if you don't write in the exam properly, I don't care, he used to say, but you should understand what they say. If you understand anyway, you will write it. And sometimes what happened, I didn't have the time sense. When I like a question, Mahabharatamlo, Draupadi gurinchi na abhiprayam, question. I used to write pages to pages, pages to pages, pages to pages, quoting several things. Next questions I was not answering. I was so much immersed.
Okay.
That was the kind of training I had. And he was not allowing me to go to temples or anything, but I used to sneak away because my mother's influence is there. Every week or every 15 days, I used to go to my village. It's only 8 kilometers. I used to spend at least half a day with her. Whenever I go there, I used to see my mother's rituals. And also she made it a point from Bhattari Subhashitalu, Sumas Shatakam, Vemana Shatakam, all these Shatakas, she used to give me at least 10. Every visit I had to learn 10 and go back. She made it a point. She knows that my uncle doesn't allow me to go to temples. Don't worry, you pray here and go. Pray here enough for 1 week or 15 days. That is her style. So I was between the two extremes. I was exposed to a big spectrum, from nothing to everything is there by God. I made my own choice of accepting some part from here, some part from here. I cannot do that kind of puja as my mother did. I also came to that conclusion it is not necessary, as my father said. And at the same time, just praying God is not enough. As my uncle does, I should do something. These are the foundations at the very early age. I was with my uncle until my degree. In between 3 years, I went away to Madras, Kesari school, where my other uncle, maternal uncle, who saved me or who guarded me, his name is Shantha Reddy. His other brother, my mother's elder brother, he was working in Madras as sub-editor to Andhra Patrika. And he was thorough in old scriptures, Prachina Vangmaya, Prabandha Kavyalu. In these 3 years, I got exposed to Manucharitram, Vaschritram, Prabandha Kavyalu, all wonderful things. Radhika Swantanam, Raghava Pandaviyam, all those things. I developed enormous interest in Telugu. So to say, to add to that, in Madras, my Kesari school stint of 3 years, our Telugu master was Kanvasri, wonderful teacher. Through him also I got motivated to read all these things. I came to the impression that life is very peaceful, happy if I go and read literature. At the time, music was not in my mind, only literature, Sahityam. A good Sahityam will relax you. That was my feeling. After completing there, I came back to Nellore and did my PUC. I got good marks. Again, the same old Shantha Reddy uncle wanted me to go to engineering. I said, I don't like engineering. Why? I want to read Telugu, happily read about that. They are so good. Only lazy people will go and read that. It is not useful to society. You are for yourself, you are not right. This country is in a precarious condition. It is in a rebuilding state. We need more engineers. You have to be. Nagarjuna Sagar Dam is on. People are building it. We need more engineers. But his education level also very low. He stopped at 8th class. At least my mother, after completing 8th class from the school, at home she was trained in Mahabharatam, Ramayanam, Bhagavatam, exposed to several what you call righteous things in life. My uncle got influenced at the 8th class. After 8th class, he didn't go to 9th or 10th. He was influenced by party and he was going to party meetings. Their urge is to make society equal. There should not be any feudalism. Everyone should have the same right, same properties, everything equal, which is not natural. Karl Marx in those days propounded this theory of communism because the disparity was so high between haves and have-nots. In Russia, czars, they are highly feudalistic. They never allowed anybody to stand before them. They were so cruel. They used to enjoy the other people's women. They used to kill the children of the other people. So they are totally devoted to them. That kind of scenario, communism evolved. Why the czars are so cruel? Because they have so much of properties. If you take away from them the property and distribute to all the people, then they cannot be higher than them, they cannot be dictating terms to them. That was his principle, Karl Marx and Engels. Their theory is, in Telugu, in English I don't know what they say, Shramikudi adanapu shrame, pettubadudaru adayamu. Adanapu shrama. Suppose I give a work to somebody, labor, I am not paying enough. Rather, if I pay him 10 rupees, I am extracting 15 rupees of work from him. That is my profit. I am making more money because I am loading him. I am taking away from him more than what I should. I am extracting from him more than what I should do. To get this kind of extra work, I should have paid him 15. I am not paying 15. I am paying only 10 and taking 15 rupees of work. That is my profit. That is the theory. That is correct. But now situations have changed. If I pay to a person for, say, now masons are coming, per day they charge 500 rupees, 600 rupees. Fine. Times have changed. But sincerely he has to work from morning 9 to evening 5. He doesn't. Most of the time on phone. He comes to the work at 10:30 and in between he attends phone calls, goes to tea shop and he has a chat with the other co-workers. What he is supposed to do, he is doing only 20% of the work.
Yes, perfect.
It is the other way around now. Now communism has no meaning. This I understood when I came to my engineering. My uncle forced me to go to engineering. My mother somehow saved me. He is too young, too kid. Let him do a degree. It is a via media solution. I am not going for literature, and I did my BSc. Again, after BSc, I got very good marks. My good marks, I had to confess before you, not because of overall my good performance. I told you from the beginning, early age, my uncle imbibed in me to understand things. What you try to understand, only what you like. Other things you don't like to understand. You don't like them. In chemistry, never I got more than 40%, 42%. Attisru markulu, we call in Telugu. That means you get enough to just pass out. In physics, maybe 55, 56. Mathematics, I like, I love. 100 always. In BSc, we have 6 papers. First year 2 papers, second year 2 papers, third year 2 papers. All 6 years, 6. Which year this? I did my BSc 64 to 67, 1964, 67. My PUC 63 to 64. And then engineering, because I did BSc, 2 years concession they have given. Out of 5 years, 2 years were concession, 3 years. So total after PUC, my education is 6 years for engineering. That means BSc degree and BE degree. So I got seat again in BSc because of good marks in mathematics. Again I was forced by him. I could not say no to him. My mother also yielded. I went to Kakinada.
Oh, you came to Kakinada?
Kakinada, because in those days, not so many engineering colleges, no donations. Government College of Engineering, Kakinada. Government College of Engineering, Anantapur. University College of Engineering in Andhra University. That's all. But I wanted to go to electronics. I didn't want to go to routine mechanical, civil, electrical. In those days, they are the 3. Electronics newly has come into Kakinada. I preferred that. I went to Kakinada. This also I had to trace back my intentions. If somebody is walking that way, I want to go in a different route. I never like to travel the road travelled by others. That was the imbibed trait. Entire family is going to 1 rupee 25 paisa ticket. Why should I be in 50 paisa ticket? You should be different, my uncle used to say. You should be an example to them. They are not earning that money. Their fathers earned that money. You earn and go to any movie. Today you are depending on your father or me. I give only this. My status is middle class. You are being nurtured by me. I am not rich man like your father, but I am taking care of you. You are in my house. Behave like what you are here. When you earn it, I am not peevish about spending. You spend, but before spending, remember the other people to take care of. Society is first, next only you. After giving anything to them, if you have anything extra, enjoy it. That was his principle. All these things at a very young age imbibed in me. So I went to Kakinada. Again, I was not interested in this electronics or anything, but it is a different subject, so I came there. Again I was into Telugu, but Telugu subject was not there. I passed out, but it is not above me. There were 9 people or 8 people. I was not first in the class. I got only 62.5%. There are other people who got 75–80%. But I retained the flavor of being of service to society and people around me. There were many students who are, now we don't see that kind of poverty everybody is having. Some people could not pay their hostel fee. In those days, hostel fee was 120 rupees. Even that was not being able to pay. I used to write to my family, send me, I had to buy some extra books, so I need that, just get the money and then pay. After some time, there was some resistance in the family, joint family. Father's brothers were not comfortable. When everybody is studying at minimum, why this fellow is spending so much? If he is spending that much money, bring him here, put him in agriculture. That was their stand. But my mother supported me so wholeheartedly. At a point of time, she has to sell her bangles and send to me. Truth. Because in the joint family, all brothers will not be of equal empowered. Some people are weak. My father was weak. My father, though he was elder brother, his younger brothers were ruling the roost. They were controlling the family. They had the authority. And they both, my father had two brothers. That means total three. Both the two brothers married sisters. My mother is from outside. Their strength is more. But they were not bad. At least authority was there with them. So my mother or my father didn't want to further ask any money. Then she sold her bangles, some bangles, and sent me. I used to be doing this kind of service to people. In '69 there was a big cyclone in Kakinada area. I served along with me. I gathered some people. All my uncles' training came to my help. So I was well known in the college, and I was representing arts secretary. Ekavira cinema has come in that time.
What a movies, what a songs.
I was spellbound. I could not come to normalcy. I think every day I went for show in the evenings for 8 or 9 days. It ran only for 10 or 12 days, gone. 8-9 days I have regularly seen it. Dialogues, lyrics, everything by Sri Reddy. Until then I didn't know there is a poet called Sri Reddy. I came to Hyderabad. I invited him to give a lecture at the annual function. I have given him a topic, explain about Kavitvam. Kavitvam ante, that is the heading. He spoke so well. I have become his fan. I continued my Telugu, this one. But other subjects okay, passed out. Everybody wanted to go to America. I went a different path, Germany. I like Germany because anything they do, standardized. Perfection. Perfection standard. Today we may have in bazaar, if you go to any shop, any what you call those shops, I don't know what they call. They sell nuts and bolts and everything.
Engineering equipment,
everything. All nuts and bolts. They are different sizes, different patterns, different screw length, everything. They have only two. If the signboards are there, advertisement, only two sizes. You can't have the third size. Paper, for example, we have crown size, we have A4 size, we have A6 size, we have A8 size. Different kinds of, they have only two sizes, A4 and A8, nothing. Two, everything two. Because they standardize that, everything looks very beautiful, uniform. In a flower, all the petals should be uniform, no?
Yes.
Symmetry is so important. If I am here looking at you, I see your two eyes, two eyebrows, in between nose, correctly spread mouth, 2 ears, how nice it is, God's creation. And flower, same symmetry. So uniformity, symmetry brings beauty. I think they understood first. And not only that, I will tell you one more extra subject here. They understood the beauty of Sanskrit. Max Muller came to this country, took away all our scriptures. They have a Max Muller library. Vedas are there. What we lost here, they have. They are more evolved. Homo sapiens, more advanced are after India, they are the people. Do you know the launching pad of Russia for rocket was done by Germans? And it is from our Atharvana Veda. In our scriptures we say, Somakasurudu came and then took away all the Vedas. Then Vishnumurti took the Varaha Avatara and then he digged it. My feeling, I am not having any proof for that, and people, scientists should not bounce on me. My feeling is, Somakasura, all these things are descriptive. Maybe Western society has taken away our scriptures. There was a big joke on this. It is not a joke, it is written also. I think Eisenhower time, American president, he was riddled by parliamentarians. How come Russia has put the man on the moon first? Why we are lagging behind? So he was to answer president as a president. Don't worry. The problem is not America, problem is greatness is not of Russia. Their Germans are superior than our Germans. In the World War, they captured some Germans. They captured intelligent Germans.
Okay.
We captured dull Germans. That made the difference. Their captured Germans are superior than our captured Germans. That is the explanation.
Perfect.
So like that, they have understood what standardization, everything. In my opinion, the best way to enjoy life is to go through literature and if possible, do some service to people. But my uncle wanted I should continue and I went to Germany, I did something and came back. I wanted to do a job in America. Let me see, my classmates are all there. I observed that, I decided it's a great country to visit, not to live. I came back. I joined Defense Labs, DLRL, as an R&D scientist in 72. I was very happy. I was not married at the time. Why I was happy is comparison comes. There is a, of course I know it is not a good, right thing to do. My classmates were all in ECL and other places. They were all in 3-digit number. 680, 670, APSCB, 600 rupees, 500 rupees. DLL used to pay me 1040, first salary. And I used to, my parents were in Nellore. I used to buy one, the Gadwal sari to my mother. I used to go, in those days no AC coaches or anything. Every month I used to go to my mother, give a sari and come back. They were continuing the, I got them separated. By the way, when I came to know that my mother has to shed her bangles, in the final year I came to know about this truth. I forced my uncles to separate our property. We got distributed. They separate family, and I built a house for them by taking loan. As a student, I went to my relatives. My father was very subdued. He was not a nice person, but he is not a man who can go and impress people and then get loan or anything. Very subdued person. He loves only to feed people, that's all. When he goes to agricultural field, many people, we used to have 70, 80 workers, every day used to feed them. In addition to afternoon meals which comes from home by Kavadi, all the meal, he used to send somebody to Nellore, 8 kilometers by bicycle or somebody, get something sweets from there and then used to feed them. He loves feeding. So, I don't know where I lost it. Anyway, that was the time and I was there for almost 5.5 years. Not very happy. It was that organization in that uniform people and civilians both are working. Air commodores, wing commanders, captains, majors and also scientists like us. R&D, they are supposed to indigenize many of the defense equipment. We used to develop, but they never used it. Ultimately, though we found a indigenous solution, they used to import something. Our budget was always very huge for defense, as if so many countries are trying to occupy us, which is not correct in my opinion. Even today, our defense budget is unnecessary. No country will come and then take a war on us. But we imagine things and we put so much of budget at the cost of education, at the cost of health. We have not given priority to those two sectors. That's why this country remained a poor country by education, by health, not on money. In fact, if you collect all the assets from the families, by gold alone, we are 10 times richer than any other country.
Perfect, sir. Perfect.
This country is not poor country, but mentally we are poor, education wise we are poor, and health wise we are poor. In America, for science, their national central budget is $27 billion. Do you know what was our science budget in the year 93 when I started Shantha? 150 crores. That means $30 million. Where is $27 billion? That country is 1/3 of our country. Their population is 300 million. Our population is 1 billion in those days. Now 1.2, 1.25 billion. So this is the fundamental difference. And not only that, the disparity, again we have to talk about communism here. There is a relevance now. 96% of the wealth is with 2% of the people. 96% of the wealth in the country is rested with 2% of the population. Remaining 4% is shared by 96%. What a high disparity. The country definitely has progressed, but the accumulation is only with few handful of people. Reliance, Adanis, Ambanis, only those people. And people who taken thousands of crores and they don't pay to banks, they raise their hands, and who is losing? All taxpayers' money is gone, and those money is not available in the country, it is outside. It is a tragedy. Tragedy of this country is not that we have not generated assets, we have generated, we have progressed, but that is accumulated disproportionately with very small set of people. So I left that organization. I didn't feel it is waste of exercise. We develop something indigenously and it is not being used. Ultimately they import because they get commissions. Ministry of Defence is one of the corrupt organization. Not now, from beginning. But I cannot argue, I cannot be, I am too small a fellow there in the entire system. Luckily, the good thing that happened is I had the opportunity to see close quarters Abdul Kalam. He was director of DRDL and he was a great inspiration to all of us. He used to come to DLRL. His greatness with him is anybody doing any work without even knowing what he is doing, to what extent he is doing. He used to come and pat on the back. Arey, you are doing great work, Ra. Wonderful, Ra. You are necessary for this country, Ra. What a kind of nobility, yes. Very great man. Come to your table, pat you. Even before you explain what you are doing, you try to explain, no? Yeah. No, Ra, you are doing great work, Ra. Bah, em Ra. You are the necessary, Ra, for the country. That was his style.
He's a great man, no doubt.
Great man. So anyway, I left that place and I had some issues also. I found that it is not fair organization. I came out. Then I was in AP Industrial Development Corporation, not my choice, but the head of that APIDC was an IAS officer and also an engineer, Ram K. Vepa, very senior person. He invited me to join him. He wanted a technical fellow to manage industries technically. See, APIDC promoted joint ventures. Many people, they as entrepreneurs, they used to come, but choice was with the organization. They used to give opportunity to influential people, a minister's son-in-law or a high official's brother-in-law, something like that. That also not right, but it happened. Government money 50%, entrepreneur money 50%, but they used to inflate the project cost. What they are supposed to put, they put only 10% of it, but claim that they have put 50%. So 40% swaha, and on this 50% of government, they used to have second car, third house, fourth family. There is no end for that corruption. I was nominated on their boards. Big people are influential people. They are not small entrepreneurs like me, what I started. Those days all license Raj, license was with the government, and we are inviting to the most influential people to come and participate in the industry, and they are not small people. They have everything in society. They have money, they have influence, they have parapati, everything. So when I am nominated on their board, if I question them in the board meeting, sir, it is not proper, you are not utilizing the funds properly, you are showing wrong accounts, they were not happy. They used to complain to my boss. My boss used to, you have to ignore all those things. We are not here to correct society. Why are you so taking on them head-on collision? Don't take it. They are influential people. And sometimes your own caste, why are you taking panga with them? My own caste people, why are you taking panga with them? Another Reddy is suppose cheating. My boss says that he is your own caste, why are you taking panga with him? So caste, influence, all these things are coming. I said, it is not the place for me. Last straw was, one managing director of that time in 85 wanted me to prepare a report to show to CM. He wanted to start that project to impress him. CM, newly N.T. Ramarao Garu has come as Chief Minister. But that is not a viable project for us. It is not a project at all. It is not for manufacturing. It is a R&D project. Development of thinking and sensing computers, what we call today artificial intelligence. In 85, imagine, almost 32 years, 34 years back. They said 3 major companies in IT like IBM, Data General, Fujitsu from different countries, $3 billion. They want to pool up that money. In 20-25 years time, they want to come up with a thinking and sensing computers. Computer can also think like human being, and they can sense your mood by reading your eyeballs. He is angry with me. Accordingly, it will behave. You are happy with me. It will accordingly it will respond. So that kind of work they want to take up. In Hindu, an article has come on that. Every Monday in Hindu, Science and Technology. He, without reading, he underlined that, Varaprasad, come and speak to me. I went to him. I am seeing CM in 3 o'clock. You prepare a note. We will take up this project. Sir, when I am about to say, don't waste my time. Go and bring 1-page note. Then I know it is not possible. That 3 billion, where is that? Our APEDC in 1985, our total budget was around 30 crores. In that, for salaries and other things, 7-8 crores, 9 crores goes away. Remaining 20 crores for different sectors, electronics, textiles, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, engineering. For all sectors put together 20 crores. This is $3 billion and 30 years or 25 years. And it is not a product, it is a research. APADC job is not to do research, it is only to produce a product or service. He is not understanding that. He didn't read it. He only outwardly he has seen it, we will take up. He want to impress CM. After at 2:30 he again called me. I said, where is the note? Sir, try to understand me. It is not our size and product, not our tenor. That is the reason. Who gave you degree, Amma? Fake degree? How people come to this organization without any proper education? You don't understand what I am asking. I resigned there itself, came out. So, you should understand here why I came out of DLRL. It is not being used. Why should we waste money of the public? Here, government money is being abused and people are not having insight into what they are talking. They are not focused people. They are there only for the sake of taking salary and running the organization without any focus, without understanding the very purpose of the organization. There is no point in working there. So this kind of mentality has come from my uncle. He never compromised on any values, any ethics, on bribery, all these issues. He was very strong. In municipality, to get a water connection, if you pay 100 rupees in those days, they used to give connection. Never. He never allowed any poor fellow to go and pay. He used to write memorandum. He used to go and fight on his bicycle. He used to go to municipal corporation. We have sent 4 applications in my area, in my colony. You have to give them water connection. They used to say, send them, sir, we will give it. He was municipal councillor. They will not come, they don't have education. I came on behalf of them. I know why you are calling them. Because he knows they want money. He is a councillor. you sanction it and then I will go. So he was standing by his principle of not paying any bribe. So these are the things in APDC, when such kind of things are happening, some people offered me, sir, you want to go to Sri Salem, we will give car, go. That is the big bribe on those days. We want to go to Tirupati, we will arrange darshan, everything, sir. Thank you, I don't want all that. First you give me the accounts properly. These things were not going well with this system. So I am an outlaw there. And how long I can alone fight? And when I resigned and going away, some people said that what is would do outside? The entire country is like this. No, I will start an industry and show how we can run an industry ethically. That was my challenge to them. Of course, at the time again my mind went to agriculture. I will go, I have land property, my parents are there, let me go there. But it didn't work out that way. Finally, one gentleman, one professor, highly educated, highly qualified than me, he was a nominee director in IDBA. In the same building, Parishram Bhavan, IDBA was there on the 8th floor. My office, APDC, was in 5th floor. I used to in those days go by steps, not using lift. Enthusiasm, young age, lift is only meant for invalids, not for me. That was my slogan. He has seen me several times. He was a Kharagpur IIT mechanical engineer. He went to US. In Columbia he did his masters. In MIT he did his PhD. And he was visiting professor to New York University. He was staff member in ASCII, Administrative Staff College of India. Highly qualified person. He can visualize down the line for 20 years how technology is going to rule the countries, how the developing countries will adapt to new technologies, what are going to be the services and new products. He used to visualize and write books. I was highly impressed with him. Had I been a girl, I would have married him. Very nice, eloquent speaker, and I saw him giving lecture in ASCII. He started a company for indigenous development of high-level batteries for defense applications, for submarines, for missiles, for MiG aircrafts, startup batteries. They can't be like car batteries. MiG aircraft, it cannot take more load, only one pilot will be there. He will carry the bomb, go and drop it and come back. To start that one, it requires 1000 amps of current. To have 1000 amps of current, if car battery you want to put, like a car we have to put. But this much battery size is required and it is give 1000 amps. For that, silver zinc batteries are required. Russians have developed, Americans have developed. And we were importing at very high cost. And also, we are vulnerable. If they don't supply, suppose there is a war and they stop it, your MiG aircraft cannot fly. That is the oxygen for us. So, in such circumstances, we wanted to develop indigenously. That is good thinking. Submarines batteries. So also for missiles, very small batteries, but high power. He started, theoretically is excellent, but practically he has inadequacies. He can't deal with people. He is not a go-getter. He has enormous amount of ego. He feels that he knows everything and he is sitting with you after 5 minutes of conversation. He declares, your IQ is not enough to match me, get out. He will say that.
Very good.
Highly intelligent, but highly perverted. So he started, but he could not run. It has become defunct. South State Finance Corporation people funded. I was told it was auctioned also, but they somehow stopped it. At that critical juncture, I told him, I am leaving, sir. I resigned. Where are you going? I am going back to my village and then take care of my agriculture. No. You are a kind of person I want. Come to me. I have an industry. You start. I will guide you, but you have to bring fresh money, equity. My equity evaporated. 10.5 lakhs in 85 May. I invested. That company is called Hyderabad Batteries.
HBL.
You know that. His name is Jagdish Prasad, very highly intellectual. So he guided me. While I was in APDC and nominated on several boards, I couldn't understand how to read a balance sheet because my background is science and electronics. I did my evening engineering MBA only to understand how a balance sheet is written, how to read balance sheet, how to judge the health of the company by seeing the numbers. That's all I learned from MBA. Beyond that, nothing. But this gentleman, he was my guru. He is 3 years older to me. He is 1945 born. I am 48 November born. He is also November born. He is November 3rd. I am November 17th. I remember still. He was my guru. He taught me everything. We have become very attached. He has no other pravrutti, no literature, no music, no socializing, nothing. I started making him more into this line. He started making me more into business, exchange of views. Our combination worked very well. It is the greatest combination. My practicality is vision. I cannot think beyond today and tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, I don't know what it will be. But he knows. But he cannot deal with any people, anyone. After some time, he gets disgusted with them and he goes away. And he was not even coming to office very often. Very rarely used to come. He used to sit at home and think. He trained me very well. We got several awards. We have created histories, many awards. Best import substitution, best export and best organizer company, best HR, best what you call gardening and everything. Name it, everything. He is the one architect of that. And I got the name. Naturally, Swatikaranam Guru has come. Swatikaranam Guru has come. He was so jealous of me. His own family members also, when they used to praise me, he was not very comfortable. Anyway, his line of thinking, my line of thinking, different. Different in the sense, his argument was, we are paying taxes. These governments are not giving back to us what we are supposed to get. They are not giving adequate infrastructure. I think we should hoodwink and then we need not pay this much taxes. I never used to agree with that. We were trained by Jatiyavadi communist leader. We have to pay and we should demand. If necessary, we should change the government. We should throw the government out. If necessary, we should take a gun, not by ballot. That is the stand of that gentleman who taught me life. Antegani, we should not circumvent this system. But this gentleman was of the opinion. But anyway, at a point of time, he thought that I am not necessary anymore. My contacts, my influence, he used it. My initial money also. But basically, without him, I could not have done. Maybe you could have got another person like me to carry on the business, but I cannot get that kind of intellectual. I am 100% truthful. But he was very cruel to me. Normally, at this stature, I could have said we got separated. I can honestly tell you, he cheesed me out of the company. He has thrown me onto the road. I am not mincing my words. It may go tomorrow to public. Even if he hears what I said is true. Entire city knows about this. Our separation was the talk of the town. Akane Nageswara garu warned me, don't do partnership with him. They knew each other. He said that. I said, why? Varaprasad, you are innocent. We are Krishna Jalla Kammas, we are very dangerous. I am also from that place. He said that to me. Sir, I don't believe in caste system. On this alone, I fought with APDC boss, I came out. Your own caste, why don't you ignore him? He said, I didn't like it, I came out. I don't believe in this. Go and have your own lesson. People learn lessons on their own. That's what he said. That exactly happened to me. But of course, it's not out of caste or anything, sir. He was never having that feeling at all. He never showed that kind of disparity between my caste and his caste. He was intellectual. He is intellectual. He is still. He thought that after using me for some time, it is not necessary for. And also, the name and fame is coming to me, which he felt that is not right, appropriate. And he felt that enough is enough with him. He has thrown away several people like that. He used them and thrown them. Many good people went off. He cannot adjust with his own people. That is his nature. He doesn't come and socialize with any. You cannot see him. You know him, no? Then what I am saying is truth. You should have understood by now. He doesn't mingle with everyone. Then I came out. It was a very painful process. I was managing 670 people. 3 or 4 vice presidents, general managers, everyone used to report to me. I was running literally the show. He was only chairman. I was executive member. Suddenly everything was withdrawn from me. And even he has withheld my stock. He said I should surrender to him stock at par 10 rupees, which is very unethical, unfair. At the time the quoted price was around 170 or so. He wanted me to surrender my shares to him at 10, saying that he has gone to court, in India 20 years. It took nearly 21, 22 years to resolve. In between something happened, I have surrendered at 10 rupees. I didn't get what I am supposed to get. I would have got at least 1.7 crores. I didn't get any money. Only what I invested, 10.5 lakhs, check was returned to me back. Added to that, he has put a case on me in court. There was an agreement. He is supposed to give me some 18 lakhs to me. Because 10.5 plus 18. He has not given. First installment he has given. That agreement was signed not by him, by another director. But he signed as a witness. I think he wantedly did it. He didn't want to sign one-on-one with me. He remained as a witness. The other director got it signed. I signed. First installment they paid. In 3 installments he is supposed to pay. That was arranged by Rajasekhar Reddy. Because I had to go to him. He was not paying my monies. Rajasekhar Reddy called him. He was dodging. He threatened him. At that time he was not in power. He was only a leader, but good friend of mine. No, you are doing injustice to Varaprasad. You have to come and answer. Otherwise, my people will come and drag you to my house. You want that way? Tell me. Then he came. He written on Rajasekhar Reddy paper letterhead. 18 lakhs, 3 installments. First installment he has paid by cutting the TDS everything. That is the proof. Second installment he didn't pay. Third installment he didn't pay. When I was asking, I was sending a letter through other mediators. He was not talking to me. There is a fictitious, and he filed a case. It's forgery. It's a forgery, he said. That is dangerous case, no? Then I had to fight on that. The person who signed, other director, is a very well-known person of repute. They are from Coimbatore. His classmate in Columbia, America. Very honest people. You might have heard the name KJ Group. K. Govindaswamy, KG Group. They have so many spinning mills and everything. His classmate. He came to the court and said the agreement is factual. His classmate. Truth. I stand by my truth. It was agreed. And he refuted that witness is not my signature. That also forensic people said that it is your signature. And finally, that also it took long time and paid. 22 years. So I didn't get my money. But all these things before this I got this money after Shantha started. Shantha was successful, everything. I don't need that money also. I told in the court through my lawyer, I don't want to use that money. It didn't serve my purpose. Had I had this in the initial days, I would have used it as my equity in the new company. When it has not come to my need, I am donating this for a good cause. I dispersed that for good cause. Anyway,
Which year happened all this?
I don't exactly remember, sir. It's around 2000. 2000, I think.
2000.
Judge has given very strong judgment so that he cannot go to Supreme Court also. At that time, what happened is he was arrested in America.
US.